So here's another edition of Tonal Teamwork at the Pedal Zone. And so I am a big fan of these two Earthquaker Devices pedals. We've got the Avalanche Run and the Space Spiral. The Space Spiral is fairly new. Avalanche Run came out last year. Both really, really cool pedals. Space Spiral is like a modulation delay, which someone was asking me about that. They recently discontinued the disaster transport, and maybe this was kind of their version of kind of updating that, or kind of it taking its place, because the disaster transport was kind of like an analog delay with modulation. I prefer this one, actually. I don't know why, just maybe being able to like adjust the shape of the modulation and the rate is really cool, and the depth, in addition to it just being like a really cool sounding, kind of digital delay. So that's like a really neat pedal. That hasn't left my board since it came out recently. And the Avalanche Run, my whole rap with that is this: it's their first pedal that incorporates, DSP technology, digital signal processing. And I mean, even just outside this pedal in particular, that's an exciting venture for Earthquaker to get into, because, that's going to open up a lot of doors for Jamie and the whole crew to be kind of pumping out new ideas. So, let me start with the Space Spiral. I have this set to kind of like just a basic slapback with the mix all the way up, and it doing like a slight modulation. Sounds like this. I've always said, like, I wish I could play like rockabilly style music. I think like rockabilly guitar is like so cool. So anytime I could kind of like fake it with a pedal, like. I mean, it's just sort of like a weirdo rockabilly sound, I guess. That's how I hear it. But I've always said like that would be, if there's like one style of music that or guitar playing that I'd be really curious to like learn more about and understand, that would be like Brian Setzer style, like, shredding. So that's kind of what I have this usually set at. I have the repeats always set on this pedal to 1. I mean, like when you get into this sound, I mean, I'm recently really into like delays set it with just 1 repeat. Because then I think that's like a more interesting sound, and then when you're sending an effect into it, it's just not regenerating as much, and you just get the effect with 1 quick blast, especially when you're doing like staccato-y stuff. So I really like the way delays sound with the repeat set to just 1, and particularly this one, because it modulates, just 1 time. So I think that's a pretty cool thing. So that's how I have the Space Spiral set. And then moving over to the Avalanche Run, I guess what I've been talking about with this pedal lately is just, so I figured out a way to, basically when they came out with this, they had sent Juan and myself Avalanche Runs the sort of beta test to see if there's like any bugs on them, because it was like a big rollout. Like, all right, here we go. It's our first like DSP pedal. We got to make sure it's right. So we had these ahead of time, and I had figured out a way. I mean, a lot of times when we get stuff, or when I try something new, I like to push it to the edge and really see what it can do, instead of just like popping it on and being like, cool, it's a nice delay and it's got some reverb in it. That's nice. I like it. I really like to push things to see where they can go. So with this one, I was able to figure out a ring mod sound, which it's not like this is like some super secret thing, but this is not a ring mod pedal. It's reverb. It's a delay plus reverb, So, but basically, I got this ring mod by, so this is the tap tempo, right? Which, you got your little indicator light, which shows you the rate. So if we take the mix all the way down on the reverb, this is the reverb section right here. So there's no reverb. We'll add that in a second, but right now we're going to keep it just dry with delay. So you come up to here, like I said, repeats at 1, the big repeat at 1 fan, tone just kind of straight up the middle. Mix, I'm always a full wet mix person. I mean, I usually have an issue if I can't get a full wet mix, just because that's the most interesting sound for me personally. So then time, if you're tapping on this, that'll indicate the time, but then also, it kind of, you can move it with the actual time knob as well. So right now, if I turn this on and I've got my delay set to reverse, if I turn this on, we should just hear full wet mix of a reverse delay sound. Let's see. So, it's your standard reverse delay. So then what I found is when you set this to 0 time, so it's basically going extremely fast and reversing into itself, you see the light, the indicator light, start to speed up. And once you get it, right now it's like a static, speed, but it's actually going extremely fast. And so then it ends up sounding like a ring mod. And each time you kind of back off and give it a little bit more space in between the repeats or the reverse delay, it tunes it to a different frequency. So it's actually inconsistent in the best way. So I'll show you, I'll just play a D or a G, an open G. So I'll do it again. Let's see if I could get one other one. So, I love that about it, that it's just different, you just get different sounds out of it. So, and then, obviously when you have the expression pedal hooked up and then you have it assigned to the time, you get that same thing too. I just usually do it with my foot, but... So I don't know that was an intended thing or if that was a happy accident. I haven't confirmed that with the Earthquaker people yet, but that's my favorite thing out of this pedal. It's not my favorite thing out of the pedal. It's something really, really cool out of the pedal. So then you add some of the reverb into the mix. Bring the decay all the way up. So that's what that pedal, that's kind of my favorite sound to get out of that. So I was just thinking when we were setting up here that it might be cool to send that ring mod sound into the slapback kind of rockabilly, tweaked rockabilly sound. So actually, let's see what that sounds like. Let's give it a shot. I'm also using a metal pick that someone gave me in Birmingham, a nice fella. And so it's like it almost like naturally distorts it or something. It's weird, but yeah, it's cool. So let's see here. So that's pretty cool.
That's very cool.